So while I was waiting for my Joker Volume 2 video to upload, I got bored and I was like, I haven't read Spider-Man Fake Red yet, and it's the last superhero Marvel or DC manga that I hadn't gotten around to, so I decided to read it while I was waiting for it to upload. And it is probably the best Marvel DC like superhero comic book to manga conversion that there is so far. Like, out of all of them, this one's the best one. And there's only like 2 gripes, maybe 3, that I have with this whole thing. But other than that, it is amazing. So, let me tell you what the basic premise is. Because this isn't your normal Spider-Man story, which I liked. Because I'm honestly getting a little sick of the regular Spider-Man story. Because Spider-Man is Marvel's like most popular character, I'm pretty sure. So that also means there's a lot of oversaturation. And I've been a Spider-Man fan since I was like 3 years old. So I've gotten a lot of Spider-Man content since then. I'm a little worn out on it. And I've tried to like sort of move over to other superheroes that I'm interested in for like my comic book stuff and manga and whatever. But with this one, I was pleasantly surprised because this is a Spider-Man story that's not even really about Spider-Man. It's about a guy that finds Spider-Man's suit by a dumpster, and Spider-Man went missing. So he puts on the suit like one time, and there's a burning building. And even though he doesn't have any powers, through social, like, okay, so there's people there who think he's Spider-Man through like social pressure and also a sense of, you know, righteousness and justice and doing the right thing, but also kind of social anxiety at the same time. He goes into the burning building to try to save a child that's in there. And he's a rock climber before this, so like he can sort of climb walls if there's like handles on it and whatnot, so he was able to climb into the building. And Spider-Man's suit has the web shooters on him, so like he could use webs, but swinging through the air, if you don't have spider senses and super strength, is like extremely dangerous if you bump into something, especially for someone who's never done it before. So he's not exactly inclined to do that. Anyway, through one means or the other, he gets caught up in a couple more things that he has to do when he's acting as Spider-Man, and one of them is saving the girl that he likes from kidnappers. And he ends up getting super fucked up in that, and she ends up noticing a certain injury that he has when he's at school the next day, so she finds out that he's Spider-Man. And she kind of offers to tutor him because he's doing really shit in school. And also, she's also like a rock climber, but she's more of a professional one, likely because she's been doing it longer than him. And she just won a tournament. So like they kind of already have some things in common. And since she finds out that he's Spider-Man, she obviously wants to like help him out because he saved her life. And they kind of become friends, and he likes her, so she kind of integrates him into the friend group and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. There's this one scene though where she's like, after like he did something as Spider-Man, even though he's a really lame Spider-Man, like since he doesn't have super strength or agility or whatever, like he's very cautious and he's constantly like stressed out of his mind whenever he's risking his life to do shit. It's because like half the people he has to fight are like flying, so he's having to like shoot webs and like do shit that's extremely dangerous, and he almost dies like every time. But considers it worth it because the girl that he likes thinks he's Spider-Man, obviously, and also because it's the right thing to do, and also because the real Spider-Man is nowhere to be found. Like, we have no idea what happened to him. So she's like, you've given me the strength to be myself, and this is one of the gripes I have with it. She's like, I have something I need to tell you. And I'm like, oh geez. And then he's like, oh man, she's gonna confess her things to me. He's like, oh no, you're being stupid. Don't just jump to conclusions like that. And the moment I read his thought bubble where he thought that, I'm like, no, they're gonna subvert our expectations by making her gay, bruh. I just know they're gonna do some shit like that. Then it immediately cuts to some other shit that's going on somewhere else with a side character that's not super important. And then it reveals that she was gay. And I'm like, great. And her being gay, nothing to do with the story. Absolutely zero. They just added it just to pander. And part of her character that isn't even the gay stuff, which is another one of my gripes, is that she's kind of like a Mary Sue, because she's super good at rock climbing, but there was never a line thrown in as to like why, because the dude had been rock climbing there for a while, but he'd never seen her there before, and then out of nowhere she just wins this tournament that was going on there. And then at the end, spoilers, but the real Spider-Man comes back and they kind of do a team up, and everyone finds out he was a fake one. So there are these people like graffitiing on his house, and they're two fully grown men, and she, a 14-year-old girl in high school, not 14, she was probably like 16 or something, but she chases them off with a broom. Seriously, like, I cannot stand when shit like that happens in fiction or any media whatsoever. Because, like, dude, if I had the balls to go with me and another person that was me, my size, like, decent amount of muscle mass for a person my age, and like a 95-pound girl came hitting me with a broom, that would not chase me off, dude. That would not chase anyone off. Even if I was by myself, that wouldn't chase me off. Heck, even if I was another 95-pound girl, that probably wouldn't even chase me off. Let alone two fully grown men. And then she's just like, what a bunch of losers. Because, you know, he's worried that she's not going to like him anymore because he lied to her about being Spider-Man, because he didn't, you know, clear up the truth after she had that misconception. And her showing up to chase off the graffitiers was sort of a message to the reader and also him that she still liked him for who he was, which is fine. But it's just, I hate cringe stuff like that, where it's just like, I don't know, it's sort of like a dumbass feminist thing they slip in there, where like a woman's way more intimidating than she really would be in real life. Like, I could one-tap her, like, boom, she'd be out. And so could those two guys very easily. So, it's not so much that I had a problem with the fact that, like, they got scared off by it, but also, like, the fact that she even tried that, because she was having self-esteem issues literally, like, a chapter earlier, but now she has the balls to go try to threaten these two fully grown men tagging her friend's house. Like, seriously? You're not a little scared of that situation? You're not just gonna walk around them to go inside or call the police or something? You, a 95-pound high school girl, is gonna go try to hit them with a broom, which, how did you even get that? It's like you were walking to his house with a broom in your hand. I feel like I'm harping on this too much, but it was a really stupid scene. Now, all the negatives out of the way. Oh, one last negative, okay? I don't mean to be too negative, but I have one more. And that is, there's no volume 1 on this, which means it's a one-shot. And I know that's kind of a stupid negative, but I wanted more of this. I actually really liked it. I felt the character's anxiety and stress when he had to go out there and be Spider-Man, because he had to uphold the reputation of Spider-Man being out there so that crime wouldn't break out because people thought new Spider-Man was gone. He had to uphold the societal reputation of Spider-Man, even though he wasn't as good, and he was constantly stressed out about that. He was risking his life, but he also had incentive, such as like the girl he liked being interested in him now. Not like sexually, obviously, because she was a lesbian, which I'm not saying she should have got with him. I would have actually liked it if she didn't get with him and she was straight. But her being gay, it just kind of like takes away a narrative direction they could have gone with that, because with her being gay, them being friends, like, there's now no tension in their relationship, especially if she was still fine with it, like, especially at the end, where she was fine with him lying to her because she was still brave. Because now there's zero tension in the relationship whatsoever. It's fine that this is a one-shot, but if they were going to continue this, their relationship would have to end somehow, for, like, narrative purposes alone, due to the fact that there's no more interesting plot points or anything that could come out of their relationship based on the premise of their relationship alone. Because there's no sexual tension now, because she's a lesbian, she's not into him. And there's no tension because he lied to her because she forgave him. Or she was over it, at least, because she was willing to visit him and she chased off the graffitiers. So that was another thing. But it was just a really interesting character. The main character's name, Y-U, that was his name. He was a really interesting character. I hope that they make more mangas of this quality from Marvel, because Deadpool Samurai was good. This was better. Mainly because Deadpool Samurai is supposed to be sort of like a funny, quirky kind of guy, but that also makes him kind of hit or miss sometimes, because when you're trying to be funny and quirky, it can also come off as quite cringe sometimes. So with this, it was a lot more of a forgiving sort of character to write for. I'm surprised they didn't try Spider-Man first, considering his popularity, but maybe they were also worried about oversaturation, which is why I'm glad they went the direction with this one, like I previously said. If you like Spider-Man stories, or if you're sick of Spider-Man stories, both, you'll like this if you feel both of those things, because, you know, it's not super strict on the whole Spider-Man formula that most stories normally fall. Also, one thing about this has the best binding out of any of the Marvel and DC mangas. The Deadpool Samurai had good manga had good binding. The DC mangas did not generally have good binding. But just so you know, this binding is very good. Like, watch me open this up right now. That is really nice. And it's not gonna crease or anything on the spine. Like, it's good quality. This is a good quality manga print right here. Also, this is just a minor thing that probably I'm the only one that would like, but for colored pages they have like this, because they do have a couple of colored pages in there. It uses the same kind of paper as the rest of it, which a lot of people would think would maybe not like, because, you know, it's low quality, like matted paper. But I actually like that. I feel like whenever you're reading something that's in black and white on matted paper in manga usually, and it is occasionally interrupted by a colored page, if it's on like really glossy paper, it kind of messes up the feel of it and sometimes causes strange binding to occur, because the glossy page has like a different paper thickness than the rest of them, so it just feels weird. Here's some the art in the back, by the way, the colored art. Speaking of the art in this, it's passable. You know, it's very passable. Very 7.5 to 8 out of 10 art. Most very baseline manga type art. You're not going to get any masterpieces out of this. I mean, I'd say it's better than Batman Crime Busters, on the same level as Deadpool Samurai, if you've read that. Like, this is a really cool one with Venom right there. Some art right there. A lot of the positives in this story, I don't want to spoil too much, because a lot of the things I liked about this story were how the character reacted in certain situations, because I don't want to spoil too much about this. This is really good. Please read it. Now, if I got to give a rating for this, I could give it like an 8 out of 10. 8.5. It was really solid. This is the best Marvel, DC, both of them. Best manga out so far. So, and it's a one-shot, so you're not investing in starting a series or anything. There's no cliffhangers. It ends. So if you're interested in this, I would definitely recommend picking it up, because you'll like it. It's Spider-Man Fake Red, and it's only $15, which most manga's about 10, but this one's a little bit thicker, so you're getting a decent amount of story with this. Congratulations, Marvel, for your making a good manga. You probably made like the first really, really good one. And congratulations to Yusuke Osawa, the writer and artist. He did both. I could definitely see some influence from Japanese culture in this, probably because the author is Asian, but I don't know. Osawa does sound like a Japanese name, so he's probably Japanese. I could definitely see some influence in that. So I think they should get more Japanese artists writers and artists too, because I do like the way manga looks. And if you're gonna write a manga, you might as well have manga like art. The other ones sort of had a problem that they were like a comic book artist trying to imitate manga art. This one did seem like authentic Japanese style, like manga-ish style artwork. They should get more Japanese people to be doing this shit, because it actually is good this time. I didn't read who the authors were for the other ones, or if I did, I don't remember, but they probably were mostly American. I remember some of them were. The Rick and Morty one, they were all American. So there's that. Speaking of Rick and Morty, this is a bit of a tangent. Not a tangent, it's just off topic. I heard that there are Rick and Morty comics out there. I'm planning on getting some soon to review, so keep an eye out for that. Maybe I might do it. I don't have any right now, but just in case I do, keep an eye out if you were interested in the Rick and Morty manga one. Anyway, that's my Spider-Man Fake Red review. I recommend this for anyone wanting to get into superheroes, comic books, manga, whatever. I mean, this could be definitely a good gateway thing if you want to get into comics. Although, it's definitely not the same feel as comics. This is definitely a manga feel when you're reading this. Because manga and comic books do have a different vibe when reading them. Maybe I should do a video on that, explaining it. But, because it's a very different feeling. But, anyway. Thanks for watching. In conclusion, 8.5 out of 10.